right, go ahead, Tom.
Hi, CJ. How are you today?
Good.
Yeah, you doing all right? Happy Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad you came down today, and we're going down to the museum, right? So I'm glad you came down today. I brought some things in for the museum, and I figured you might like to see some of the things that we were able to find, either at the flea market or sometimes eBay, but that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You excited?
One thing didn't came on eBay.
Like what? What did you order on eBay? It didn't show up.
It's something from China.
Okay.
Something.
So I had pretty good luck on eBay. So this is a book, and this is Harold's book. And Harold knows the author of these books, The Matthews Men, and now this one is The Ghost Ships of Archangel. Okay, do you know where Archangel is? It's in Russia, and it's way up north. It's one of the most furthest north seaports in the world. So in the wintertime, the whole ocean freezes solid, and the ships have a really hard time getting in and out. But they did, and the Germans were chasing them. This is World War II. So these guys here, they're called merchant mariners or merchant seamen, and they keep these boats running. And what we were doing is we were bringing supplies to Russia early in the war, because our leader, who was Franklin Roosevelt, and the British leader, who was Winston Churchill, did not want to commit British and American troops into combat against the Germans, so the Russians had to do it alone. And the leader of their country, Joseph Stalin, was a little upset that America and England wouldn't fight the Germans while he was. And a lot of Russians were being killed by the Germans. So anyway, that's a good book. I brought that back. I just finished reading it. So in the box of goodies, we have a 1944 Navy publication about how to treat chemical warfare victims, all right? And
That's 30 years before my dad was born.
yeah, me too. So there's some pretty nasty pictures in here from when the Germans or the Japanese, who we were fighting against in World War II, would use chemicals against our troops, and then it would either burn their skin or their eyes, or they would breathe in the chemicals, and then they would get sick. So this just basically tells you how to help those people out when they get hurt. Now we're not going to open it.
It's inappropriate.
Okay, next is going to be a Vietnam era, and we're going to open it up. This is an ammunition pouch, okay? This would typically hold 2 magazines of bullets for the gun that you were carrying, and the clips, you would put it on your belt. But when I found this yesterday, I went like this. That's not a magazine inside, so I opened it up just like this, and out came a walkie-talkie. All right, so you would need 2 of these to be able to communicate. Say if you went into the back of the museum and we turn these on, put the antenna up, we would be able to communicate with each other, right? You push the button, hello, 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 CJ, do you hear me? And then you would hear my voice and you would say, copy that, Big Tom, I got you. All right, but I only found 1. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But we are going to put this item with the case in our Vietnam room. And we're going to say that the Special Forces used this early in the war, because this has a date on the back of 1961. And that's before I was born 1 year. So what do you think about that?
Good.
Pull the antenna up. Just don't bend it. You got it.
How much looks like a solo?
I wish we'll have to pull the back cover off and see about the battery. That's a pretty long antenna, because you got to segment here we didn't get yet. Another one up there. All right.
That's a pretty long.
Yeah, that is.
It's almost as long as the Ninja Katana.
That's right.
It's longer than it actually.
Okay, so we'll put it back in a case. And we know where that's going to go, right? Into our awesome Vietnam room. And it has a name in it, too. So the gentleman's name inside is Fred S. Wilkins Sr., and he's from Blacksburg, South Carolina. I never met the guy. I don't know who he is, but maybe we can do a little research on that, right? That's our job, too, is to find out who used this stuff. Okay, next item in the box. Emmett, this one's for you. It is the official souvenir program of the Army-Navy football game in 1952. Do you know who won that year?
Who?
Do you know who won the football game?
No.
You want to take a guess? Army or Navy?
Army.
The Army did not win that year.
Navy.
Navy won, the midshipmen won, and the score of the game at the final buzzer, right? You have 4 quarters in football. The score was 7-0. So what does that mean? The Navy scored 1. What do you score in football? If you cross the line, what's that called?
A touchdown?
Yes, exactly. So there was only 1 touchdown scored during the whole game. And the Navy midshipmen scored. So the Navy won the game. Army didn't even get 1 point. No field goals, no touchdowns, no touchbacks, nothing. But when we take this out and look at it inside, it brings us back in history, okay? We're going back in time. You don't see advertisements like that anymore, do you? A lady holding a cigarette and saying, "I'd walk a mile for a Camel." We don't want anybody smoking anymore, do we? Not good for you, right? So that's one thing that I thought was kind of interesting. Here's another one. So here's a lady out in a field holding a shotgun telling you that Ringgold beer is the best. Is that funny or what? I got a good kick out of that. So there's some cartoons back here by some famous artists. And my favorite, of course, is Private Breger. Now, if you look, I need to find Private Breger's, here it is. So this guy here, his name is Private Breger. He was in the 101st Airborne Division in World War II. How do I know that? Because I have a book at home of all Private Breger's cartoons from World War II. So now, if you look here, here's his name, Dave Breger, and he's rooting for Army. And let's see what it says. Game's about to start, folks. Navy wins the toss and elects to face the television cameras. So guess what was new back in 1952?
What?
Television, right? Not everybody had a TV in their house yet. Oh, hi, Shadow. How are you, sweetie? Doing all right? Go get some water.
Go get some water. She wants to be with you.
And then these are the Army and Navy songs, okay? So they actually put these in the book. So you would sing, and I'm not too sure about these. So you have, the Cations Keep Rolling On or something. And then Anchors Away, that's the Navy's song. Stand Navy down the field, sails set to in the sky. All right, there we go. That's enough of me singing. And then here's all the football players. But if you keep going, there's a lot of small little advertisements that really crack me up. And look at this. Look at these guys, the football players. Look at that helmet. Does that look like a helmet that the football guys wear today?
No.
That probably doesn't give you too much protection.
That almost.
All right. So anyway, look at this.
When you something funny.
That's not even a jet. They didn't even have jets flying yet. Still propeller airplanes. And that's one of my favorites. That's called a Constellation, made by Lockheed, right? Or a Connie. That's its name for short. And it was the fastest, one of the fastest way propeller planes that ever was. See? More comics. Look at the size of that cannon there. That's a big boy right there.
I want to be a soldier for some odd reason.
You do? Well, that's not too odd. Okay, so there's all kinds of funny things in here and different
CJ, why do you want to be a
advertisements.
soldier?
Because I want to be it for Comic-Con. I'd probably win a costume contest.
Mm.
Oh, okay. You want to be
But
a
what if
Comic-Con.
that's your job to wear that uniform? Then it's not really a costume anymore, is it? What do you do then?
I'm just going to use a ton of stuff and try to take some stuff from eBay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's an advertisement from Grumman. Now, Grumman made airplanes in World War II, and those are right here, the Wildcat and the Hellcat. A little later, they made Tiger Cat. Then they started making jets, Cougar and Panther. Now, my Uncle Walter, his job was to work on the Cougars on an aircraft carrier, and that aircraft carrier was the USS Coral Sea. And he was over there in the Mediterranean. So look at some of these cars. Does that look pretty futuristic to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are made by Buick, I believe, yeah.
That looks like a Ghostbuster car.
They do look kind of funny. More beer, tractors, bulldozers, furniture, TVs, more stuff. Oh, now we get into the color. So here's another lady cheering on her team, and she's advertising what?
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike cigarettes. Yuck.
Yeah.
Lucky's taste better, that's what they say. Anyway, Oldsmobile, Mobil gasoline. So then there's all the obligatory welcome to the games. So anyway, I thought that was pretty good, and I hope Emmett enjoys looking at that. Now, I think the last thing I have today is this
How much looks like the
bag. Oh, wait, there is another thing inside here. That's right, I forgot. Oh, there's a couple things in here still. So we'll put these off to the side. And this is for our newest addition to the museum, the T3 sniper scope in our Korean War display. Now, the T3 sniper scope was an early version of what we would call an infrared night scope. So you can see at night through a scope, right?
Yeah,
You
and
can see at night. What color typically are, when you look in that infrared, what color is it?
red.
Not red,
Orange?
green. Everything that you see is green. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not a color analyst or spectrometer kind of guy. But I know when I'm looking through it, I see green. But you can see figures and pictures of people that you're looking at. Now, if the enemy was in your scope, you would be able to shoot them, okay, at night. Because a lot of people try to hide at night. You know, during the day, it's a little different because the sun's out and you can see everything. So anyway, this is a very rare rubberized feel-at. What's it feel like?
A mix between rubber
Yeah.
and some.
And fabric, right?
Yeah.
Very thick fabric. You can feel how thick that is. So what does the rubber do if you have something inside there and it starts raining?
It helps it.
It's going to protect it, right? Protect it from the rain and protect it from getting what?
Destroyed.
Wet. Eventually destroyed, sure, right? But you don't want your batteries and electronics in here getting wet. So this is a very rare bag. It's unissued, which means nobody ever used it in war. Okay, so you would attach this to
That would probably
your
fit
belt.
me.
Yeah, I mean, it could fit you. So you can either hook it here and carry it alone by itself, or you could hook this up to your equipment belt that holds your bullets and your canteen and everything else. You've seen that before, right? You know what they look like.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a really neat piece, and we're going to put this back with our display of the T3 sniper scope carbine in the back. So I was kind of happy to get this, and so that's that. These are for Emmett. One more thing that I got. Can you read me those letters?
S-I-W?
That's right. Now these are 3 very important letters when they're put together. It doesn't spell a word, right? How would you pronounce that? If you had to read that, those 3 letters together, what do you think it would say?
What?
S. First letter is S, right?
S.
Over here. Sue. Doesn't make any sense. There's no such word as sue, is there? You can sow, or you can sow in the field. You can sow with a needle, just like those there. So anyway, SIW is 3 different initials, and this came from World War I, all right? The general of the army back then, his name was Black Jack Pershing, all right? He was the general of the army, and he was in charge of all of our troops over there in Europe, okay? And that was called the AEW, Allied Expeditionary Force, something like that. Okay, so anyway, those 3 letters are very significant when you're in a war. So if you get scared so bad that you don't want to fight anymore, you want to get away from the battle, okay? And then your brain starts thinking, remember what we were saying earlier about how you end up with a song in your head? So what happens to some soldiers is say, I don't want to be here anymore. I have to figure out the best way for me to get out of this situation. I don't want to die, okay? I don't like seeing my friends die or get shot or wounded or anything. So what they would do is possibly shoot themselves in the foot or hurt themselves in a way that they would have to get in an ambulance or get carried off of the battlefield back to a hospital. So General Pershing made these up. Okay, this would go on your arm just like this. And if you're still in that hospital, you had to wear this. And this signified to everybody else in that hospital that you were basically a coward, okay? You did not want to be in the battle anymore, so you hurt yourself to go to the hospital, all right? And he made these guys wear these, and this is an original piece. Feel it. That's over 100 years old, all right? Feels pretty soft and everything. And you would put this on your arm.
That feels more like not soft.
Yeah, the backside is. So this is a very rare example of an armband that, and they just got so scared that they did not want to be there anymore, or there was so many artillery shells blowing up around them and hurting their ears, they just couldn't take it anymore, and they would call that cracking up under pressure, or nowadays it's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And what was happening, their brain just couldn't take the amount of noise and punishment and what they were seeing. It was just too much for them. So then they were brought back off of the battlefield. And a lot of times, General Pershing ordered all of the commanders to take those men and put them back on the front line in the worst positions or spots, usually out front. So if the enemy is coming, attacking everybody, you're the first person that they see. It's pretty scary, and it really wasn't right that he was doing that and making them wear something like this, right?
So you found all these at the flea market, Tom?
I got that. I got this. This I got on eBay. That I got on eBay. Now there's one more thing, which we didn't really get to yet. So we'll get to that right now. Now, when I was on the ship last year with George over in France and Normandy, we met a lot of great people, all right? Now, one gentleman and his wife, so his name is, wait a second, I know it's Clarence, and his last name is Sitzman, and they live in Colorado. So, as a hobby, Clarence takes pieces of wood and turns them into pens. Okay, so here's an example of a pen that Clarence made and sent to us at the museum. There we go. So I want you to take a look at this pen and tell me what you think about that. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Does it still work?
Oh yeah, it still works. Here, let's see if we can do it. I think you have to. There we go. So the point came out. You see it? Let's try it. Yeah, it works great. So Clarence sent us a whole box full of pens that we can either give out to veterans or we can sell to make some money for the museum. Now, he sent us 50 pens. Pretty nice, huh? And he makes these.
What's this pink one?
Well, maybe a lady might want the pink one.
Maybe my sister want it.
Sure. Okay, so then there's 50. They're all different. And he cleans these up. You can either take a stone or wood, and I believe that this one is wood, and he polishes it and just polishes and polishes until it is so smooth. You feel that? And that's what is important if you're holding a pen for a long time, right? You don't like a rough pen or whatever, so there you go. Spell your name. There you go. 2 letters, right? Turn the other way. There you go. Now what? Retract it. So let's put that back in here. So Clarence, if you're watching or listening, we say, what do we say to Clarence?
Thank you.
Thank you, Clarence. We really, really, really appreciate this wonderful donation. And
My sister really wants some stuff.
yeah? Well, she's in college now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, CJ, stand up. How do you end your videos on YouTube?
I hope you subscribe and thanks for watching and like the video.